And somebody else has been talking about John Lennon too, somebody who knew him long before he became famous and found him a somewhat difficult person to deal with, his former headmaster in the city of Liverpool.
Mr. Popjoy, what are your memories of John Lennon? What sort of pupil was he?
It is 25 years ago since I knew him, but when I first arrived at school, my first year, his last, by great coincidence, he had been a very great problem. He was intractable, and by his own account, which I think is truthful, he had been intractable right through junior school and grammar school.
So how did you control him?
I don't think anyone did control him. In those days, I resorted, in his case once only, to resort to corporal punishment, in which I no longer believe. That didn't work, and Hunter Davis, in his biography, points out that I fairly soon came to the conclusion that one must treat John in a different way.
Despite this being intractable, did you like him?
I was certainly very interested in him. To me, of course, he was an acute problem to all my colleagues.
Did he show, at that age, any musical skills?
Very considerable. One of his interests, though not his greatest interest, was his skiffle group, which he formed from Quarry Bank boys, which he called the Quarry Men. In those days, he used to come and humbly ask permission to play in the intervals of the school dance, and I would give it mature consideration and then perhaps somewhat reluctantly say, yes, he might. He performed free of charge. There was nothing mercenary in John Lennon's nature in those days. When Beatlemania spread, other groups wanted to charge exorbitant amounts for playing in their own school, but not John.
What were his other interests at school?
In the interests which he listed, I think he put salmon fishing first, and after that painting and poster making. He had a great variety of interests.
Did you regard him then as an extraordinary character?
Well, he was quite out of the ordinary. His life story, which he's told himself and which others have told, shows him to have been quite extraordinary.
What was your reaction to this morning's news?
I was shocked, as I would be at any violent act. I was very surprised, but on reflection, I can't see John Lennon opting for the sear and yellow. I don't think he would have had any admiration for merely living steadily into old age.
Mr. Popjoy, thank you very much.